How's it going, guys? Alan with ISC Suspension here. Today we're going to take you through a short video on some of the steps that you should take to prep your coilovers for wintertime. With salt and sand and all type of other gunk that can come from the roads, it's good to make sure your coilovers are ready and prepped for the wintertime. So follow these quick steps, and if you have any questions, as always, contact us. We'll answer anything that you have.
Alright, so the first things first, you're going to want to buy some anti-seize. Any type will work, whether it's silver or copper colored. As you can see here, Kyle is putting anti-seize liberally onto the actual shaft itself. The first step is you're going to want to try and get some around where the spring area is and where that top collar is going to be, making sure you get right where the spring is and right where it lines up. This is really, really important. You're going to need a liberal amount of anti-seize just to make sure those collars stay nice and lubricated. So once you complete that task, you'll move on to the next section, which is right below that, or right above if you have it inverted, top collar. As you can see here, Kyle is actually allowing a little bit of it to get on the collar itself. What that is going to do is make sure that when you bring that other collar down, that they're going to stay lubricated and not seize to each other. And once again, anti-seize gets a little bit messy. So now you'll anti-seize where the bottom mount is actually going to go onto the shaft itself. You can't really be too crazy with the anti-seize. Really, any amount will do. As long as you get most of the threads covered, it will kind of seat itself into all the other threads. Now that that's all nice and anti-seized, you can go ahead and grab your bottom mount and screw that on. Don't be surprised at how difficult it will be to get the bottom mount on. There is a large amount of anti-seize on there now, so it's not going to slide as easy as it did before. So once you get to this section, right about here, you can go ahead and start sliding up that last collar. And there you go. The fronts are essentially now completed. If you're worried about the collars in the center or the threads in the center, later on in this video we'll show you how to tech wax them, which is going to assist there. So moving on to the rears, you're going to want to do essentially the same thing. Move all the collars out of the way so that you can get anti-seize down into the threads. Once again, you'll want to use a good amount. Once again, make sure you get right to where that spring is. So now that that top collar is almost in place, you're going to essentially do the exact same thing as you did for the front and just apply anti-seize. Once again, make sure that you add a little bit to the bottom of the collar. That way, when you bring the other collar up, those two collars do not seize together. Now you can do the same thing you did for the front and apply anti-seize liberally to the threads on the shaft itself. That way the bottom collars and bottom mounts do not seize, which is going to be extremely important for when you're adjusting the ride height on your vehicle. And go ahead and just thread the bottom mount on. Now if you look here, this is a Legacy GT set, but the Legacy GT set is similar to the WRX set and other sets like them. What you're going to want to make sure you do is there's actually a little eye hole in the bottom collar, or bottom mount, excuse me, itself, where you can actually see the threads coming through. So you're going to want to make sure that there are some threads in there. And there you have it. Those two coilovers are now properly anti-seized. And the last step here is just going to be to tech wax the coilover itself. This is pretty simple. Can't really go wrong here. Just spray a liberal amount on the coilover itself with the threads and everything else.
Guys, thanks for watching the video. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call. Our number is 603-715-9078. All right, we'll see you at the next ISC How To.